What's up? Did you know Lori Vallow's a psychopath?
She is in our same state now.
Yay!
Which is exciting news. Her bail was reduced to $1 million from $5 million. I'm hoping that $1 million is still as unattainable as $5 million. And considering that her attorney was asking for no more than $50,000.
Hopefully that means that's all they could come up with.
Well, hopefully it was. Well, they could probably come up with 100, but we don't want to have to come up with 100. So I'm hoping the $1 million keeps her in the Madison County Jail.
But are they actually going to make her wear an ankle monitor if...
That was ordered.
Ooh.
It was ordered. Did you not watch the whole hearing?
I think I missed bits and pieces.
Okay, well, the judge...
I know I heard him talk about it, but I didn't hear if it was...
No, the judge did order if she was to post bond that she would have to have a GPS ankle monitor.
And they swear her passport's expired.
Fine.
But, God, nobody sneaks over a border illegally, do they?
No.
But the GPS tracker helps.
Yeah.
But they can't just go get her out of Mexico if she sneaks in, can they? They'd have to have the Mexican authorities, retrieve her?
I'm not sure how it would work with Mexico.
Anyways, shall we back...
Canada's closer.
True. But I feel like she'd try to, get all the way down to Peru or some shit.
Yeah, probably.
And then charter some shit to Hawaii and then just hide out where she lives there.
People will see her again.
Not if she cuts her hair and dyes it black. She'll think nobody will recognize her.
People will still recognize this crazy woman.
Anyways.
I like how we just kind of jumped into this.
Right. We should go back to the beginning. Who is Lori Vallow?
Lori Vallow is a religious nut job.
Married to another religious nut job.
Yes. Both are of the, or at least at one point, were of the Latter-day Saint persuasion.
We're not entirely sure what their persuasion would be labeled as now.
I mean, I think they just prove how dangerous religious fundamentalism is to our society.
Weird. Not weird. Real.
Yeah.
So
they were apparently part of a group.
Preparing a people?
Yes. I think this group has since distanced themselves from the crazy.
As anybody would.
But they're also crazy because they're prepping for the end of the world. Which, religious people have been saying the world's going to end any day now for thousands of years.
Yeah. How many times has the world been about to end and then not?
And yet here I am living my miserable life and the world has not ended.
Nope. But it's going to in July, right?
I think that's what I heard she believed.
So, preparing a people is not a group or a cult or something people join. It's just educational lectures. Wink.
Educational lectures.
Educational. I wonder if we can watch the educational lectures.
Not if you don't pay for them, dude.
Oh.
Color My Media Incorporated and Preparing a People.
Their whole website now is just a letter, blah, 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 all media and individuals to cease and desist from mentioning the Preparing a People event brand or our media company in any negative connection with Chad or Lori Daybell. I guess we should
Can they sue us?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Do
we care?
I mean, I don't have... Well, basically, if we just violated the cease and desist, we didn't mean to, and we understand you're not associated. Whatever.
You've distanced yourselves. We get it.
So,
Daybell's an author. I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah.
He's written books.
He's written more than 25 doomsday Mormon books. Bioterrorism.
I wonder if they ever sold his books at Deseret Book.
Oh, dear God.
I mean, we probably can't find out now because I'm sure the Mormons have distanced themselves from this wackadoo as well. He has visions now, apparently.
Was his first wife's death normal, or...?
They've exhumed her body. They thought it was at first, but the weird part is right before... I've done way too much research on this, people. It all kind of runs together. So, right before she died, she reported that... I think she reported it to the police... that someone had tried to shoot her with a paintball gun, outside her house.
Oh, yeah.
Someone with a mask on. So, I'm wondering if it was really a paintball gun.
Yeah.
And also, why?
For funsies. Right. Like, that's weird.
Yeah. I mean, kids do dumb shit, but then when you turn up dead a week or two later, suddenly it seems a little more suspicious than you just dying in your sleep.
Right.
So then we also have to remember there's the whole marriage falling apart thing that makes people do crazy things in this story as well.
Because her first marriage also fell apart?
She's been married like 5 times.
Oh, well, okay.
Her most recent marriage, they were in the process of getting a divorce, and the husband was requesting custody of their shared child that they had adopted that was, I believe, a blood... So his sister, the husband's sister, is the child's, well, we all know their names, is JJ's biological grandmother.
Okay.
So Charles and Lori adopted his grandnephew.
His grandnephew.
Yes.
Okay.
Do we need to draw a diagram of that?
Maybe.
Okay.
We could probably find a diagram. But what happened to Charles?
So Charles was shot by Lori's brother.
Oh.
Supposedly in self-defense, and apparently in Arizona they don't investigate these things very well. They were just like, yeah, okay, it was self-defense. I don't know. I don't quite get how someone being shot in the middle of a messy divorce is just accepted as self-defense. I can't. I'm sorry, state of Arizona.
Money convinces somebody it was.
I don't know.
That's weird. So death surrounds them.
Especially her.
Yeah.
Because she's had, like, other ex-husbands die in mysterious circumstances.
Weird.
I think she poisons people.
I wouldn't
Maybe
be
I
surprised.
should have saved that for later.
Well, you know. Where are the kids? We're just going to keep saying it.
Yeah, where are your motherfucking children?
You probably can't listen to podcasts now that you're in jail, bitch.
I don't know. Maybe they do let her listen to podcasts in Madison County.
I hope so. So, divorce paperwork before Charles died. He claimed that Lori believed she was a god preparing for Christ's second coming in July of 2020, which is sneaking up. Y'all better pray for forgiveness and shit.
Yeah, y'all better prepare. You know that whole part in the Bible where no man knows the day nor the hour.
Right,
That's a lie.
But she knows.
She knows.
The New Jerusalem and the Great War and the Book of Revelations. 144,000 into the new millennium.
Okay, but that whole sentence is pretty good. So in the paperwork, Charles detailed a phone call in which Lori told him she was a translated being who cannot taste death, sent by God to lead the 144,000 into the millennium. So Mormons know, well, like, they believe that, like, Moroni was a translated being, I think.
Oh,
Maybe
Lord.
not Moroni. But, like, the 3 Nephites were translated beings. John, the one apostle that Jesus said would never taste death.
Uh-huh.
Elvis. Sorry. I couldn't help myself.
Nope. Charles Vallow died in July 2019 after being shot by Lori Vallow's brother, Alex Cox. Then guess what? Alex Cox died in December.
Without being charged.
So after Charles died, Lori moves to Rexburg, Idaho, with the adopted child.
Yes, legally it is her child.
Right.
I mean, it legally is when you adopt a child. That is your child.
Right. So they move to Rexburg and they get married.
Well, she moves to Rexburg with her kids before they get married, and
Right.
I think if we were to look at the timeline, it's right around the time Tammy Daybell died.
Yeah. 2 months after moving to Rexburg, the following, okay, blah. That didn't have a time in it, whatever.
No. But I believe the wife died in September and they got married 2 weeks later in October.
Yeah, that's not excessive or anything.
Well, Mormons don't believe in sex before marriage, so even if your spouse dies and you want some boom boom, you gotta hurry up and get married.
Oh, Jesus. Anyways, so, backstory, they cuckoo.
So they went to Hawaii, supposedly moved there. It was planned, supposedly. I don't think it was planned. I think the cops were on to them and they got the hell out of town.
Right.
So, from a news website, we found the probable cause affidavit. So, it charges her with basically 2 counts of abandoning her parental responsibilities.
Some contempt.
And contempt. Yeah. Yeah.
And obstruction.
Yes.
There's 5 total charges.
Yes.
I don't know.
I was focusing on the 2 that were felonies.
Ah, well.
Excuse me, people. I'm getting over a cold.
You mix them all together and it paints a real nice story.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, Lori Vallow moved to Rexburg with the child, JJ, in September 2019.
Mid to end September.
Yeah. JJ went to school for 3 weeks at an elementary there, and then he was seen, around that time by neighbors and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The last time he was seen alive was on September 23rd, 2019 at that school. The next day, Lori told the school JJ would no longer be attending and she would homeschool him. And the elementary confirmed that nobody else has asked for his records or anything. I thought somebody said they'd seen him since then.
So, I think there was Ring doorbell footage of him playing outside their apartment after he was withdrawn from school.
Okay.
Well, a condo, whatever it was, I'm not sure, but...
So they do surveillance, and a detective, during, a month, claims to have no sightings of JJ at all, while surveillancing.
Mm-hmm. Well, because she's under suspicion by an out-of-state police force about her husband's murder.
Right, so Arizona was like, yo, you guys want to check up on this lady? Because she crazy. It's always suspicious when the husband dies when you're in the middle of getting divorced.
Convenient.
Timing.
I'm just going to skip the very beginning of this paragraph. Lori Vallow is now married to Chad Daybell from Fremont County, Idaho. Chad Daybell's wife, Tammy Daybell, died in Fremont County, Idaho on October 19th, 2019. I was informed that Chad and Lori... So she was there for a month before his wife died.
Right.
I was informed that Chad and Lori married approximately 2 weeks after the death of Tammy Daybell. I later confirmed they were married on November 5th, 2019 on the island of Kauai in Hawaii.
Huh. And the kids are not seen in any of the wedding photos.
No. There were no...
No, because why would your kids be at your wedding?
It's just so bizarre. Like... First of all, they had to have known each other beforehand. I don't think you just... I don't know. I've heard rumors there was an affair, but I don't think anyone really knows.
So when did they get married?
November 5th. 2 weeks after his wife died on October 19th.
So detectives go to do a welfare check.
Because the child's biological grandma is concerned for her child's well-being because his father was concerned for his well-being when he was killed.
But, so they do this on November 26th, 2019, after they're married.
Right.
Chad's outside with Lori's brother, and Chad acted like he didn't know Lori very well, and said he didn't have her phone number. Excuse me? You married.
You married the woman. Maybe you should have her phone number.
Maybe.
Reminds me of a country song.
Dude.
Married to a waitress. I don't even know her name.
Married to a psycho and I don't even know her number.
Well, I mean, it's probably lucky for him that she's in custody or he might be her next victim.
Shit. He might get Epsteined.
He might.
I mean, a lot of people around her seem to get Epsteined.
Yeah.
Which is just my new word for dying in a way other than how it's reported they died.
Yeah.
Chad claimed the last time he saw JJ was in October at the apartment. And then he also admitted to having her phone number when they talked again. And then that same day, the detectives talked to Lori, and she said that JJ was in Arizona with one of her friends.
Mm-hmm.
So they get the friend's phone number, and oh wow, they weren't able to contact her.
Shocking.
So then they're like, Lori, will you please call your friend? She didn't answer. And then Lori says, oh, well, her and JJ are seeing Frozen too, so she probably won't answer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like she knew exactly what her kid was doing.
By the evening of November 26th, they had not heard from the friend
In Arizona that she's trying to claim the child is with.
But then,
so
you know,
they send Arizona police there.
They go to her house. She's not there. They call her, and she says that JJ's not staying with her and had not been there for several months.
Yeah.
Awkward.
Well, and here's the thing. I think when you're in, like, that's the thing. If you've gotten a call from multiple police agencies asking about a child that you don't have, if you want to stay out of trouble, you are going to be honest with the police and say, no, he hasn't.
Right.
I haven't seen him in months.
So is she going to get Epsteined? On December 6th, the police was contacted by Melanie, the friend, and informed that both Chad and Lori had called her on November 26th and asked her to lie to the police. She was...
Okay, I don't have family members I would lie to the police for.
Right. Like, especially not about having your kid.
Right.
Like, if you were facing a misdemeanor drug charge and were like, can you say I wasn't smoking pot yesterday? I might be like, yeah, I don't know if she was. I don't think so.
Right.
But I'm not going to be like, yes, I have your child. Because guess what?
They're going to come see the child. They're going to want to see the
right
flesh and blood child.
Lori, if you're listening, you're stupid, because if your friend had lied for you, the police were going to immediately be like, show me the kid. Where the kid?
Right.
Where the kid at? And then if she didn't bring out the child, then she's going to go to jail for something too.
Well, and so my other thought is, because we have a lot of people up here in this area that think the government should stay the hell out of their business.
Mm-hmm.
Which for the most part, I mean, I understand to an extent. But at the same time, you have children. People are concerned about your child. And here's the thing. She could have, if the children are still alive, which, spoiler alert, I don't think they are.
No.
But I'm kind of a jaded human.
We'll get into our theories at the end.
Oh, yeah, okay. So anyway, so if my ex's family, hypothetically speaking, was harassing me by sending the cops to check on my kids, I would show them the children.
Right.
I would take the children, be like, here's my kids, here we are, we're all here, we're all fine.
Right, because you wouldn't be in this situation if your kids were alive and you just showed them to somebody.
Right.
Hello, detective, this is my child.
But instead of doing the same logical thing to make your life easier, you're going to not want the government to intrude on your life. So you're gonna not show the police your children, when none of this would happen if you'd shown the police your living children.
You wouldn't be looking delightful with French braid, kinks in your hair, and really
red lipstick.
Really bad prison lipstick in court if you just showed somebody your kids.
Also, here's the thing. The attorney probably could have brought her some makeup. Maybe not. I don't know.
Well, you saw the attorney's jacket. Maybe that was her makeup.
Well, yeah, but the attorney's makeup looked okay.
Well, I don't know.
Ugh, the red lipstick was just too much.
You want to know the thing about this that's the craziest?
Mm-hmm.
So all that crap happens on November 26th. You know what else happens on November 26th?
What?
They leave Idaho.
That doesn't make you look guilty at all.
We just got caught in a lie trying to say the kid was in Arizona. The police found out it's not true.
We're out.
So then they leave Rexburg that same night.
I mean, Rexburg in November is miserable. I don't blame them.
Well,
for
yeah,
leaving, but
I would leave too. But what is it? Lori Vallow's niece confirmed that they left Rexburg the night of the 26th.
Well, this part was good, too, because they found the child's prescription.
Oh, yeah.
And there were still pills in the bottle when they searched the house, but the prescription hasn't been filled again. And I'm not an expert on autism or the medications for it, but I feel like these aren't medications you should just stop cold turkey.
Right.
I mean, I know, like, some, a lot of medications for mental health are they have effects, and if you stop taking them, bad things happen.
I didn't take my antidepressant for 2 days last week, then I took it, and I wanted to stab people in the face for like 3 days.
I remember when I was on antidepressants, if I didn't take it for 2 days, I got super, super dizzy.
So I have Googled the medication, and it is an antipsychotic that treats schizophrenia, bipolar, and the irritability caused by autism. So it's possibly something he could go without having, but he's gonna have all of his irritability and other stuff come back.
Yes.
So...
not ideal behaviors.
Right. So if he was alive, he'd probably have that with him. Ooh, the storage unit.
I still love the video where you thought you could see kid legs.
I'm pretty sure that wasn't kid legs.
I'm pretty sure it wasn't either, because I don't think they would have showed it on the news.
So this was on the news a while back, but so they go in Lori's storage unit with their warrant, and they find blankets with pictures of both kids on it, JJ's backpack, lots of clothing and like photos and, you know, stuff you'd probably keep if you weren't trying to make your kids disappear.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe also don't get the storage unit in your own name so the police can't get a warrant for it, but...
I feel like you kind of have to, though, because, like, I think after 9/11, like, you can't just go rent a storage unit under the name of Bob Smith.
But she could have, like, paid
that
somebody to do it. But she's not smart. We've clearly decided she's not smart.
Her brother, who's being investigated for the murder of her husband? Like, what other connections does she have? Because she didn't live... She moved to Rexburg. She didn't live there.
Okay, fine. Oh, I always forget that Tylee, you know, is her daughter.
Yes, Tylee's her daughter
from a
different husband.
Different dead husband. Shouldn't have to differentiate between dead husbands.
Well, first of all, if you have I think this is her 5th marriage. So if you have 4 ex-husbands and 2 of them are dead, I think you're the problem.
So the last time Tylee talked to her brother was back in August via FaceTime.
And then she was seen in Yellowstone in September.
And
that was the last time she was seen.
They claimed that Tylee was attending BYU, Idaho, but the college doesn't have any records of that. Interesting.
Or do any of the church schools.
Oh, so this one, the doorbell camera got JJ on September 17th.
Is that before or after they...
Last time he was seen was the 23rd.
Okay.
So, okay, let's talk about Yellowstone.
Oh, God, this scene opens a whole can of worms.
So, Tylee, Lori, her brother, and JJ go on a day trip to Yellowstone. Her brother who did what?
Killed her husband.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I should call him estranged husband since they went through a divorce.
So they go to Yellowstone on September 8th. There's a picture circulating on the internet now that was paired with if you were in Yellowstone on this day and have these people in your picture, please get us the pictures.
Well, and they want you to get the pictures, I think, no matter what.
Well, that's true. Like, if you were in Yellowstone on September 8th, 2019, send every photo you have.
Which I was not, because fun fact, Sally's never been to Yellowstone.
I will take you.
I lived in Wyoming until I was 12 and never went to Yellowstone.
Oh, dear God. I will take you. It's magic.
Okay. I've never been to Glacier either.
Oh my God, I'll take you there too. I lived in Glacier. Dear
well,
God.
I know you lived in Glacier. I've been Glacier adjacent because I have family in Kalispell.
Oh dear God. I got tattooed in Kalispell. And pierced. At a place that does it professionally, not just by some guy in an alley. Anyway, so...
I feel like there aren't maybe those guys in Kalispell.
Who knows?
I don't know. There's a lot of meth use in Kalispell, too, so who knows?
Yeah, it's a weird place.
It is weird.
So, they go to Yellowstone. There's a photo of all of them. Because, you know, they got it, from her iCloud server or some crap. So the photo is the last time they have any record of Tylee, and no witnesses can verify seeing her since. It's March. It's almost March 8th.
Well, and here's the thing. She's old enough that really, if she had the beliefs that her mom has, they could put her in an apartment somewhere and she could hide out.
Right.
I mean, she's old enough that she could, you know.
Right.
there would be a way for her to fly under the radar.
Yeah.
I don't think she can fly under the radar and care for a 7-year-old autistic boy under the radar.
Right.
Without his medication.
Right. Unless they somehow got new identities or something, but it's also weird.
Well, and the other thing is, like, she looks totally different in that picture at Yellowstone than she does in the pictures that have been circulating of her.
Right. So, I mean, just fast forward to December 1st, and they go to Hawaii.
When they flew from Los Angeles. So did they drive to Los Angeles? How did they get to LA?
I don't know, but because they left Rexburg on November 29th, so they probably drove. So they get to Hawaii on December 1st, and records establish that the kids are not with their parents.
Right.
When they go.
They would have to have tickets because they're both over 2.
Right. So once again, where are the kids?
Yes, where are your goddamn children?
The children have not been sighted with them at all because, once again, they did not go there on the plane with them. That's been verified by, airlines and hotels and all kinds of things.
I'd like to know when the tickets were purchased.
Interesting.
That's what I want to know.
Can we contact Rexburg Police Department and ask if they have that information?
Well, because that makes a difference.
Well, it does. Premeditation.
Right. Well, and the attorney is saying, they plan to move.
Mm-hmm. Conveniently right after you're caught in a lie about where your child is?
Right.
Interesting.
And here's the thing, like, if this Chad fellow, because he has children, I believe his children are grown.
Uh-huh.
But if he's, like, a family guy, like, it's not like she had to get rid of her kids to be in a relationship. Like, family is important to these people's religious beliefs.
So, on the 20th, the Rexburg police did a press release about the kids missing and trying to find them, and that's when we started really getting into it.
Mm-hmm.
And since then, Lori has given them absolutely zero information besides saying they're alive and, like, with family or something, but no details.
Yeah, that he stayed with his grandma. Which I'm assuming would be her mom, because it's his biological grandma on the other side that wants to know where the heck he's at.
Lori used a website to find a babysitter for JJ. The babysitter watched him on the 19th of September, and then on the 24th, she contacted Lori about babysitting, probably in the future. Like, do you need me to watch your kid again? That was really fun. And Lori told her that JJ had gone to stay with his grandma for several weeks, and her services were no longer needed.
Okay, have we contacted said grandma? Have we contacted all the grandmas?
Is there actually a grandma?
Well, right, because it'd be convenient if her mom was dead, because then there's no grandma.
Maybe
that grandma.
Lori killed her, but it was never reported, and so she just, maybe she exists. On January 16th,
Are you saying she's a real live Lizzie Borden?
Yep.
Okay.
The court ordered Lori Vallow to produce the children within 5 days to the police department in Rexburg in Idaho, or the Health and Welfare Building in Rexburg, Idaho. Lori was served that order on January 25th, 2020, and she did not produce the children within 5 days, and has not to this day, which right now it's March 7th.
Yeah, the children have yet to have been produced.
Lori, where are your kids?
Yeah, where are your children? You crazy bitch. Are we going to leave in all my mean things that I say?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, she is a crazy bitch.
Yeah.
So when they performed the search warrant on the car in Hawaii. Okay, go down. Let's see what else she had. I'm weird about things people have.
The following items were located in their possession. The birth certificates, Tylee's debit card.
Yeah.
JJ's iPad, another iPad, and
that was logged into JJ's account.
JJ's school registration information from the elementary school in Rexburg.
Huh.
Wow, that's interesting stuff to take with you. So Tylee's just out there hiding out without her freaking debit card? Okay.
So it looks like it was still active and had been being used since Tylee had been sighted. But I would assume that where it's been used has been where her mom is, and there's no clues.
Yeah.
Ooh, let's read about the service dog, because this part pissed me off.
Oh, yeah. You sent me this info and I wanted to punch somebody.
So through the investigation, the Rexburg police discovered that JJ had a service dog for his autism. The dog was named Bailey, and it was trained by Elite Dog Training Place in Arizona. And she sent an email, so I'm assuming Lori sent an email asking them to find another family for Bailey due to a change in circumstances, and they picked up the dog on August 30th. So that was before she moved.
Right, but then they went to Idaho pretty soon after.
Right. Well, and then here's the other thing. I heard, and this is not in the affidavit, but I heard that she had tried to sell the dog, and the trainer people found out and are like, no, you can't sell that dog. It has to come back to us, and we will rehome it to someone else who needs a service animal.
Huh.
I think that's how, because these dogs that are, specifically trained to be service dogs.
Yeah.
And I mean actual service dogs, not people's pit bulls that they think they need to take to Walmart with them.
We're talking about dogs that are, trained to sniff out aneurysms and seizures and stuff.
And help with,
medical alert dogs, if you will.
Children's symptoms and things like that. Training these dogs is not cheap.
No.
And so I think, people set up, foundations so they can get animals to people who need the help. And so you can't just sell them after one of these groups has provided you with an animal.
Right. So, I mean, you could be devil's advocate and say, well, they were planning a major move from Arizona to Idaho, and maybe that company that was going to rehome the dog wouldn't let them take it out of state. You could be devil's advocate. Maybe. We're not being. But I just don't want people being like, hey, you guys... No. Stop it.
I don't read comments. I don't care.
Right.
I do this because I enjoy it.
Right. Ooh, 41.
40 looked interesting, too.
Oh, I meant 40. I'm just tired. Wow.
So Chad's parents were interviewed, and they informed the officer that Chad and Lori told them in November that Lori was an empty nester.
In November, 2 months after either child had been seen?
Yes.
Oh. Where are your kids?
So is she a mean mommy bird who just pushed them out?
Into a boiling pool in Yellowstone?
We're not to the end yet.
Sorry. Spoilers. Oh, God.
So 41 is much like paragraph 40. Samantha, who is the sister of Chad's dead wife, informed the police that Chad had told them that Lori had no juvenile children.
How old is Tylee?
Well, she's 17.
So
I think
maybe
she's close to 18.
So you could maybe say she's not juvenile, maybe. But how old is JJ?
He's 7.
Oh.
And technically, if you want to get technical, he was adopted.
Yes.
So, I guess if you wanted to convince your family that you found a nice lady without kids to spend your time with, you could maybe bend the truth a little bit to get them off your back that she has no minor children. Because the child did not come from her vagina.
Huh. Well.
Yes, I said vagina.
But Tylee came from her vagina.
As far as I know.
Well, yeah, okay. February 26th, they rent a car, no kids. But the kids didn't go to Hawaii.
The kids didn't go to Hawaii, so unless they put the kids in kayaks and told them to paddle.
Oh, God, maybe they did that. Jesus.
Oh, I'm warped. I'm so warped.
If they were able... No, just kidding. We'll get to my conspiracy theory at the end.
Yes,
I'll hold it in.
Save your conspiracy theory for the end, please.
Throughout the investigation, they look at Lori's bank stuff. No evidence she's caring for children.
So not buying fruit snacks or applesauce.
And there's no evidence or verification of anybody providing for housing, food, clothing, education, or medical care of JJ since September 24th or Tylee since September 8th. As of yesterday, March 6th, blah, blah, blah.
Children are still missing.
Children are still missing.
I mean, I guess we could check to see if they've magically appeared today. But...
I mean, I did Google it before we started recording. I typed in Lori Vallow update, and there was nothing about kids
being found.
So
okay.
I'm assuming they have not been found.
I think that's a safe assumption.
So then you can surmise everything. Blah, blah, blah. Where are the kids? They believe that pursuant to Idaho Code blah, 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 that she deserted her kids. Something else, Idaho Code, obstruction.
Tried to get someone to lie for her.
Okay. Due to more stuff, Idaho Code, solicitation to commit a crime.
I think that's also...
Because that one's disobeying the court order.
Oh, yeah.
And due to all of this stuff, she's a flight risk. So they charge her with 2 felony counts of desertion or non-support, 1 misdemeanor count of resisting, 1 misdemeanor count of criminal solicitation, and 1 misdemeanor count of criminal contempt.
I like the figure of what they're estimating Chad got in life insurance when his wife died.
Oh, hell. Does that mean they could post $1 million bail?
Well, so here's the thing. A bondsman would want 10%, which that'd be $100,000, right? Okay, but you've got to have proof that you're good for the whole amount.
Okay.
And here's the thing. I don't know what kind of house he owns, but the real estate in Rexburg is not like the real estate it is here. And I don't think he has $1 million home he could put up.
Well, don't they own something in Hawaii?
I think it was a condo they were renting in Hawaii. I don't think they own it.
I hope not.
I'm not positive on that.
So, the detective, the lieutenant, whatever he was, respectfully requests the bond to be set in the amount of $5 million to secure Lori Vallow's appearance.
As it was.
As it was.
And then it was reduced yesterday to $1 million.
Now that we have discussed the backstory, her hearing, blah, blah, blah. Theories.
Okay. So, this is not my theory. This is the if the kids are alive hypothetical theory.
Which, very unlikely.
It's not the theory I agree with.
No.
For one, if the children are alive and you have the children and you're listening to this, please take them to the Department of Health and Welfare somewhere in Idaho. Preferably Rexburg, but...
Or if you have the kids and they're alive, well,
local police department.
If you have the kids and they're alive, take them to a fire station, a police station, a library, somewhere.
Yeah. A Denny's.
Yeah. Apparently that's the going locale here.
Anyway. That's a whole nother story.
So, Tylee is 17. She's old enough to take care of herself, probably. If she
as far as we know.
We discussed if she had the beliefs, she could hold herself up somewhere and hide.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair. But how is she having money? Like, did Lori slide her money and be like, hide, here's $100,000? Like,
I still feel like someone has to be assisting her in her hiding.
Right.
So even if she's capable of caring for herself, I feel like she has to be living on someone else's property.
Right.
So I feel like because these people were part of basically a doomsday prepper movement.
Right.
I'm sure they know people. I mean, I know people in Idaho who live off the grid.
Well, yeah.
So I'm sure these people know people who live off the grid. So if the teenage daughter shares the crazy beliefs,
right,
she may be willingly living with someone off the grid. And I guess it's possible for the younger child too.
Right.
But I have more concern about him with his special needs.
Right. Like, he would require a new prescription for medication.
Right.
And whatever. If they had the means of that whole, in the movie, give me $100,000, I'll get you new identities. Like, but why? Where is the motivation for her to get her 2 kids new identities and put them somewhere? There is a possibility they're in LA if they drove from Rexburg to LA before flying to Hawaii.
Okay, but doesn't Tylee's brother that hasn't heard from her live in California?
Probably. Maybe he's in on it. I don't know. So if the kids are alive,
And Diana decided if they're dead, they are in a geyser in Yellowstone.
Well, okay, so Tylee was last seen literally
in Yellowstone.
And if you've never been, it's this magical place that smells a little bit like eggs And there's just...
Sulfur-like?
Yes.
Okay.
There's just boiling holes of water just all over. Some of them are colors. Some of them are very, 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 very hot. Some of them...
Stinky?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just like sulfury. It's not like
Okay.
super bad. Some people are dramatic and are like, oh my god! I mean, some of it smells worse than others, but whatever. Some of them are so hot that it would, like, boil you to death immediately. Some of them you could probably put your hand in and be fine. Like, I think I read that way back when people didn't have electricity in houses and stuff, they would, like, build shelters near some of them, and the heat would generate, the steam and heat would keep you warm.
I feel like you'd also get a little soggy.
Yeah, you don't go swimming in the hot pools. I think in September there's less people there, and if you found a hot pool somewhere kind of off a trail a little bit and just shoved somebody in there, they would disintegrate. There's chemicals and they're acidic, and bye-bye. There's also wolves and bears and all kinds of predators there that would also enjoy snacking upon a corpse.
Yeah.
But Rexburg is close enough to Yellowstone that I maintain even if JJ was seen after that, they could have easily smacked him in the head
And taking him there again.
taken him there in the dead of night. Like, and okay, so my whole zone of death thing has kind of been debunked as not being a thing, but so there's this part of Yellowstone that's in Idaho that they say is where you can murder people legally because it's in no jurisdiction. It's fascinating, but
Well, but because it's a national park, wouldn't it be federal jurisdiction?
there was some weird loophole to it. Like, this certain 50 square mile space didn't fall under that or Idaho or whatever. But, I mean, if you follow the zone of death theory, that is also right down the freaking road from Rexburg.
Yeah.
Like, drive north a little bit and there's the zone of death. So, they go to Hawaii. They don't take the kids. Where the kids? Where they be?
I still like my theory that they put the kids in kayaks and told them to paddle.
You know, they probably wouldn't make it alive, but that is a little bit better.
So they'd get eaten by sea creatures rather than wolves?
Well, I think they'd probably just die of dehydration.
Probably.
I don't know how long it takes to kayak from Los Angeles to Hawaii.
I don't know that it's possible or wise.
Alexa, how far would it be to kayak from Los Angeles to Hawaii?
Here's something I found on the web. According to MakeMeTrip.com, Los Angeles to Honolulu is an approximately 7.5-hour flight.
We did not say fly.
Alexa, how many miles is it from Los Angeles to Honolulu?
By sea.
From Los Angeles, Honolulu is 2,560 miles away.
2,000?
Yes.
2,000 miles in a kayak. Point being, not happening.
No.
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 No. Yeah, so I don't know how long they say when kids are missing, the likelihood of finding them drops by, like, whatever percent per day.
Right.
But when people have been missing...
Well, doesn't it drop, like, after, like, 48 hours? Doesn't it drop considerably that you'll find them alive?
And it's been, what, 5 months and some change at this point? I want them to be alive, but I'm afraid if they're alive, it's going to be like an Elizabeth Smart situation.
Yeah. Well, and, like, I feel like these people probably know people like that guy that kidnapped Elizabeth Smart.
And I mean...
I wonder if they married her off to some old guy.
Oh, dear God. Ugh. I think I was trying to block out that possibility. But what would they do with the younger one?
Pretend it was his kid.
Oh. I mean, at this point, if they're alive, just be like, here's my kids, I'm sorry. Your lawyer with her horrible coat will get you a deal on pleading to, like, 1 felony, and they'll drop everything else. Maybe you'll do a few years, and you can go about your crazy life.
Well, honestly, I think at this point, if the kids were... For one, if the kids showed up, the grandparents, I believe, the biological grandparents of the boy, I believe filed for guardianship where they live, and it was granted. But they still have to get the child.
Right.
Because, you know, possession is 9/10 of the law. You know,
right.
you can have guardianship, but if you don't know where the kid is,
You're guarding
you can't
nothing.
be the guardian.
Yeah. I just don't see how it could work out to where they're alive and everybody's happy.
Right. Well, someone's in trouble if they're alive. I mean, there's multiple people in trouble if they're alive.
Yeah.
If she and her brother killed them, as I suspect, I also think she must have had some bizarre, creepy relationship with her brother that he would shoot her husband.
Yeah. Ew.
I mean, I'm speculating, but it just seems like...
Well, then how did he die?
I think he had, like, a heart attack. I think she poisons people.
I wouldn't be surprised, and women do like the poison.
It is the preferred method for women killers, I believe.
It is. Numerous serial killers of the lady variety. And just people offing their husbands.
Yeah, people who off their husbands usually poison them.
Sometimes with Benadryl. Listen to an upcoming episode of our other podcast.
Yes. So we started another bitch, which is why we didn't have a podcast out last week. But I think this week Diana's going to post 2.
I could, because I edited one and then I decided we should talk about this.
Yeah, and this is new and relevant. So
It is.
I think we at least, maybe if we don't post them both, so people can listen to our podcast on the YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Is that the plan?
Yeah. So, anybody with any information on Lori Vallow, Chad Daybell, or the location of JJ or Tylee, please call the freaking Rexburg Police Department.
Right.
Or the FBI. I don't care.
And also, if you just want to talk about this, I've been talking about it all day.
Right.
I went and cut a couple friends' hair this morning and talked to them about it.
Huh.
Well, and first of all, they're of a Christian persuasion that's not Mormon, and they think that Mormonism alone is a cult. So
Yeah.
they're all about it.
Hell, maybe I post this on both podcasts.
I think we could.
If I did that, then we'll go listen to the other one that you're not listening to this on.
Yeah, so our 2 podcasts are the Post-Mormon Potluck Podcast.
Which is predominantly ex-Mormon and...
Curious people about Mormon weirdness.
Yeah, like me, because I was never Mormon and I'm fascinated.
Right.
And then Trailer Park Girls, which we started because we think we're funny and want to talk about stuff that's not just
Mormon related.
Mormon related. And we're both chubby and go on walks, and we figured we talk about funny things while we walk so we could record it.
We did, and we huff and we puff, and it's pretty funny.
We talk about titties a lot.
And dildos.
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
Yeah, you might be into it, you might not. We don't care, we're going to keep doing it.
Right. If you know somebody who's into it and you're not, tell them and you can sod off.
So yeah, I think we will. I think we should post this one on both. It kills 2 birds with 1 stone.
It does, and
it's about Idaho crime and...
I mean, it's not necessarily white trashy, but it's something. It's Idaho.
Yeah.
It's Idaho.
It's very Idaho.
Ugh.
I
have
don't
no
know.
words.
It just demonstrates to me how dangerous religious fundamentalism is.
Right.
And, like, people in the mainstream Mormon church are going to be like, oh, yeah, they're kooky. They believe things we don't believe. Well, yeah, guess what? Your church did at some point in time believe in all this nonsense. And now they're trying to be more mainstream Christian.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not working because of the internet. People can Google what your actual beliefs are.
Should probably end this bitch.
We will. How long did we record this bitch for?
An hour.
Okay, so we'll probably get 45 minutes of good material.
Yeah. Something
Okay.
like that.
In the name of cheese and rice.
Ramen.